morning. How exciting. We're going to level 3. I bought a whole lot of poppers so we could pop them and celebrate. Hang on. Level 3 is just like level 4. So let's just keep on going. So today it's the paradigm shift from Ephesians 4. Those who've been stealing must steal no longer, but must work, doing something useful with their own hands, that they may have something to share with those in need.
So first of all, I want you to know that I didn't have anyone in mind when I picked this verse. I hope, possibly forlornly, that no one in church steals. You don't, do you? The Bible says rather famously, "Thou shalt not steal." A better translation might be, "You will not steal." But this verse is not just about theft, it's about change. It starts with a fault, a flaw. The example that Paul gives is theft. It addresses people who used to steal. The good news is it seems that they've stopped. And if you're stealing, then you probably should stop. The gospel is all about change, and all of us have things in our lives that need to change. Actions, habits, ways of thinking, mindsets, and we need to stop. The gospel gives you the power to change. All of heaven is behind you to help you change. It starts with a change in your behaviour. But Paul says to stop stealing is not enough. It's a good start, but it's not sufficient. He wants you to go on and to work with your hands. Now, firstly, holiness is not negative, it's positive. You don't get to be holy by not doing things. Holiness is positive. It's more about what you do than it is about what you don't do. But secondly, nature abhors a vacuum. So unless you replace stealing with something else, then given time, you're either going to go back to it or you're going to fill that void in your life with something worse, like writing bad posts on Facebook about the pastor. So you need to replace stealing with something else. You need to fill the hole left by stealing with something. You need to work, says Paul. Before, your needs were going to be met by taking other people's things. But now you have to meet your needs by working. Work fills the vacuum left when you stop stealing. So instead of other people giving you stuff, you need to take responsibility to provide for yourself. That's good, isn't it? What we've got here is a rehabilitated criminal. Paul's not happy. He doesn't just want you to work. He wants you to do something useful. That's partly because he wants you to start thinking about others and not just yourself. But it's also because working 9 to 5 can be a grind. And Paul thinks you should have a purpose, that your life should make a difference, that it should be of benefit to others. This is good psychology, because if the hole for significance is being filled in your life, then you're much less likely to go back to stealing. Paul's still not happy. What he wants now is for you to work so that you can meet the needs of others. He wants you to do a complete turnaround. Before others met your needs, now you meet the needs of others. Stealing has a conceptual framework behind it. My needs are more important than your needs. My well-being is more important than your well-being. You work for what you need, I take what I need. You work for me, I'm more important than others, and the rules don't apply to me. I'm entitled. I can live at your expense, and behind all this is greed. That's the mindset behind theft. What Paul wants you to do now is, instead of taking from others, to give to others. Instead of thinking about your own needs, to think about the needs of those around you. To value others more highly than yourself. You might want to add, to start trusting God for your needs. Paul doesn't just want you to stop stealing. He wants you to change your whole way of thinking. It's paradigm shift. Okay, so we've already established that stealing is probably not your problem. But if this verse were being written about you, what would it say? What would be there instead of steal no longer? What would you need to replace it with? How would your thinking and your basic assumptions have to change? And what full circle would you have to make?